Hi there, and welcome to the Rangers News YouTube channel. It's Jordan Carlisle here alongside Cammy Willis this
How you
week.
doing?
Not too bad. First port of call after another typically lacklustre week with points dropped, not at the weekend but at Rugby Park. Shock.
Oh, my God.
Is to just go through the fact that since the winter break there has been a major lull in performance levels, in results, in basically everything from a team that looked like they were riding the crest of a wave before Christmas or before the new year. So what has gone wrong?
It's hard to put your finger on anything like majorly. I mean, it's essentially the same formation that we've been using or the same system that we were using before the turn of the year. That winter break killed the momentum maybe. I mean, the celebrations at the end of the Celtic Park win were quite wild, and then you might think maybe we were a little bit naive in the aftermath of that. Coming back as well in the winter window, we got rid of a lot of players, shipped out a lot of players. Maybe that changed the dynamic of the dressing room or the squad or training or whatever, but these players had to play as well, so it's difficult to pin it on that. The players that we have there should be good enough, but since we've got back, our best players have looked dramatically out of form. We had them injuries as well, but the likes of Ryan Kent has massively underperformed. Morelos doesn't look like himself, and he missed the first 3 games. There's been injuries to James Tavernier, Ryan Jack, Jermaine Defoe, and nothing seems to have gone right since we started back again, and it's still carrying on, and there seems to be a kind of lack of pragmatism, a stubbornness to change and adapt things. And even though we won at the weekend against Livingston, we used the same system and it just doesn't seem to be working at present. I think contrast that with Celtic, who since the winter break have changed their system and are reaping the benefits. I don't know if you need a dramatic overhaul, but I think we just need to see something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think there was some tweaks at the weekend, which is maybe the first time we've seen that, and a bit more fluidity and stuff going forward. But when you really separate the fact that fans will be disappointed that points have been dropped. So 7 league games I think since the break, 3 times we've failed to win, and also over that stage we've scored 8 goals. 7 games, which is it's just not enough. You're relying on a defence to keep clean sheets every week if you're going to win. But I think, as you're pointing out rightly there, the likes of your Kents and your Morelos have not done enough. But at the same time, we've looked shaky at the back. And we could be sitting here talking about yesterday had Lyndon Dykes' volley that hit the post in the final stages of the game. If that went in, we're talking about another set of drop points, and that time at home again to a Livingston side who, when you look at it on paper, yeah, they're in great form at the minute, they're good at what they do, they're physical, but they shouldn't be anywhere near that Rangers team when you look at it on paper.
I mean, even like yesterday, I think we're just kind of chugging along at the minute, and it's difficult to see where the spark is going to kind of come from again and kind of reignite us. Up front, we were kind of lacking options. I know Canberry came on yesterday and he looked quite impressive. He was unlucky to get a goal ruled out. I think it was offside, but we just lack that kind of spark, that creativity. And against Kilmarnock on Wednesday night in the second half, we lacked leadership and we just looked rudderless and kind of pathetic when Kilmarnock really went for us. When they put all their chips on the table, we had to stand up and be counted, and we lacked leadership. We lacked experience and we lacked mentality, and this, I think, will be one of the defining periods of Steven Gerrard's tenure, because you have to think that we're eventually going to get out of it, because we're not playing as the sum of our parts at the minute, and even individually, like you mentioned, the players aren't performing. So we are going to get out of it, and it's about when we manage to come back out of this, whether or not it's going to be enough to salvage the league is doubtful, which is regrettable to say, but it is doubtful, because Celtic don't look like dropping points, and you can't. And on current form, you wouldn't bet against us dropping more. But when we do get out of it, it's about maintaining form throughout a season, bringing it into potentially next season, or even towards the end of the season, and securing like the cup, or getting ourselves back in a title race, hopefully. But will these players be able to sustain that over a longer period, the form that we showed in the first half of the season? Because the first half of the season we were fantastic. We were scoring goals, we weren't conceding, we were organised, we were playing as a team, we had heart, we had guile, we had invention. And now we lack all those things, and we lack leadership, and we lack mentality, and I think we lack experience. And I think this experience has to make them better going forward.
I think when you're saying about the creativity and the guile and the things around the edge of the box and the clinical nature of finishing between Defoe and Morelos over that first half of the season, I was also looking at, there's teams coming to Ibrox, and we were sitting talking about this very comfortably, saying whoever comes to Ibrox will get tanked if we play well, and that was happening on a regular basis. And I was looking back to when we beat Hibs 6-1, Morelos didn't play, Defoe got a hat-trick, we had 36 shots in the game. Now that's a Hibs team who were had basically down tools at that point, you know what I mean? They were really struggling, and now they're a different proposition. We had 36 shots, 19 on target, and won 6-1. Yesterday we had 11 shots and 4 on target, and just about scrape a win over Livingston. So, and you're saying about the lack of guile, that's definitely the case, and also or from players who should be able to provide it. When you look at guys like Ryan Kent, who the club splashed $7.5 million on, he has got no assists in the league this year.
It's incredible stuff.
That's mind-blowingly bad. You can't, people go too much. I like looking at the stats as a general bearing for things, and people go too much into it. But there's no getting away from that. He is a player with massive creative license in that team, who was brought in to do special things, and he's turned up. He loves turning up against Celtic, no doubt about that. Brilliant goal, scored at Hearts after the break, and I think he's got the same amount of goals now, 6 as he had in all of last season. But the fact that he has not set up a goal for another player in that team in 18, 19 games is criminal. And I think as well, when you're saying about the leadership at Kilmarnock, the problem was that was so predictable. Once you don't get... Arfield's goal was brilliant. You wouldn't say Rangers were banging on the door. You go in 1-0 at half-time and you think, we'll have a lift second half, it's fine, they'll regroup and they'll come and finish this off. But was there any real conviction when you're sitting there thinking that? And then they come out and they're dead slow, and guys like Aribo, who were really sharp for periods in the first half, completely drift out the game. And then you just have the situation where when Brophy goes through and goal at the end, he's going to score, and it's going to rub the salt in, and it's another and you're just... But my overwhelming feeling after that, I wasn't looking at it being like, we've been done out of that by the referee, and we had all the chances, and we've got, how have they got away with that? I could just see it coming.
I could see it coming a mile off. I think that another reason for the drop in form has maybe been the inexperience of Steven Gerrard, because we could see it coming. We're sitting watching it on the TV, or fans at Rugby Park, sitting watching it, you're like, they're going to score. It was almost like an exact mirror of the game at the start of the season. Yeah. But thankfully we managed to dig that one out, but this one we couldn't. I mean, Arfield scored the opener, and O'Donnell scored the equaliser roughly about the same time. And you could see it coming, but he never changed it. He waited until they'd equalised before he changed it. And trusting these same players over and over again, and they're not performing. I mean, it's like a war of attrition at the minute, just kind of forcing it, try and hoping that eventually the table is going to turn and the players are going to recapture the form. But I mean, it's even difficult to see where players that you bring into the team are going to be able to influence it in the same way. And you've got like Greg Stewart, who's desperate for a chance. Obviously, you've got Canberra, etc. But Jordan Jones. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be fancied by Gerrard, but. These players not being given an opportunity. He seems to be determined to trust the players that aren't performing. So, I mean, at the minute it looks kind of bleak as far as the league is concerned. As well, when you're talking about earlier on in the season when we were having the likes of Hibs and Aberdeen and even Hearts in December, and we were blowing teams away in the first half of the season. Teams were coming to Ibrox, or they were playing us and they were scared of us. Yeah. We'd built up a momentum and a mentality and a kind of ruthlessness that meant when we were playing the other teams in the league, they genuinely feared us, and there was a feeling that we could upset the apple cart this season. But since the turn of the break, that has completely went, and teams no longer fear us. Teams will use brinkmanship. They'll use kind of grimy little tactics. You know what I mean? But you can't blame them because it's the golfing quality is too big. It works. We're not being helped by the referees. You don't want to sit and blame the referees because of our performances haven't been good enough, but we haven't been helped. I mean, in that Kilmarnock game, Manella scores a perfectly good goal, and it isn't counted. But I mean, we didn't play well enough. It's a combination of things. I hope that a turning point is going to come. I hope that it would be against Hibs with the late winner, Hadji's first goal. Yeah. I hope that would be it.
But it looked like it was as well, didn't it?
I know with the reaction, but it hasn't been in. Over the course of the next few weeks, we need to kind of drag ourselves back into a bit of form, or at least match Celtic's results, if not better them, up until this Old Firm. So that when it comes to this Old Firm, if we're in a position where we can give them a game and potentially haul ourselves back in.
I think when you're saying that just as well, one of the first points you made there about the signings, that there was quite a lot of optimism with the fan base. You know, there wasn't any activity throughout the window. Then Defoe gets injured, and then we go for two guys. Obviously, Hadji was a bit longer in the pipeline. Canberra's a later one. But some of the stuff, and I understand, like, social media blows all this out of proportion, but there's people saying, Gerrard's, like, what's the point in Gerrard? Because he's not making these decisions. He's not using players right, Are we better off without him? I don't think either of us would ever subscribe to that idea right now. I think they're in a lull, and he's brought, the team on leaps and bounds. But there are things that need questioning, in that there's a guy, I remember when Hadji signed, guys here in British football don't have a huge idea of what he'd done previously, but that he has a good pedigree. And there's a specialist, or a guy who specialises in Romanian football, was on Twitter trying to give people an idea of what sort of player they're getting. And one of the first things he said in the paragraph was, don't play him out wide because he'd be wasted. And he doesn't like the tracking back. He likes to play centrally and have everything unfolding in front of him, picking passes. And he's playing him on the right-hand side.
I mean, you seen when he moved them into the middle yesterday?
Yeah.
He sets up Arfield.
He sets up a goal from the middle position. And then you have Canberra, a guy who you've brought in, but now it just looks like an afterthought to have a body on the bench, because he played, he came on right at the end in games. He came on yesterday with a bit, I think it was 55th minute, giving him a bit more time. But the things at Kilmarnock, we're talking about trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead and really... and backing off rather than making it 2-0, making the game safe that way. So I think there are questions to be asked, and there's guys like maybe Jordan Jones has self-inflicted the fact that he was out of the team that long. I've thought since he came to the club that he is a player who would be more suited off the bench, and that's certainly been the case when I've watched him with Northern Ireland. He's an impact player, but he must be sitting there thinking, I play on the left wing, and Ryan Kent plays every week, and he hasn't got an assist all season. And we're not consistently winning at the minute, but I can't get in the team. What am I supposed to do? So there's guys like your Kents and other people sort of in there. I think Davis had a spell out at the team, and that sort of maybe shows that no one's undroppable, but there's no sort of sense of freshness being injected in the team, I don't think. And the freshness that's come through Hadji isn't being used the way he would best be used, I think.
I think maybe it's a sign of how much Gerrard rates Jones and the other players, that these players who are capable of magic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Kent, Morelos, etc., and they aren't performing yet. He won't bring in the squad players, so maybe he doesn't trust them. Maybe he doesn't trust them to do a job, but regardless, not giving them a shot. But I mean, two players, Murphy and Docherty, went out on loan. They're absolutely
flying.
They're flying. I mean, it's interesting, but I mean, you can't really control that. Being honest, but I agree with you. Questions do need to get asked to Gerrard, but he is inexperienced as well. And like I said earlier on in the video, I think that this has been the stickiest patch of his tenure, the part of his tenure where he's most under pressure, and the same as the players. And when they do eventually get out of it, which I think that they will, I think they need to learn from the experience and be stronger for it.
So we think things are tight in terms of league position. They've certainly shot themselves in the foot, but we've still got the Scottish Cup to look forward to, Europa League, and it's not terminal. The players will be able to turn it round, and so will Gerrard, but it's just frustrating and costly at the minute that we have to talk about it, and it's another lackluster week. But maybe next week we'll have 2 wins to talk about and brighter skies and that sort of stuff.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully we've made a little indent into the lead at the top of the Premiership as well.